watching market news. Is it a mistake? Well, one of my original sayings is no one tunes into the Weather Channel to see a sunny day. There's another one, I don't know the origin of this, but it says if it bleeds, it leads. Simply put, the news has a bias towards bad news. Bad news draws more eyeballs and clicks. This justifies higher prices for ad dollars. Have you ever turned on the news and they said, "Hey, everything's great," and then just kept watching? Or would you keep watching, or would you simply go about your day? Now, here's one I can't claim credit for. Nick Murray is the credit for this, saying, "All investment success is plan driven. All lasting investment failure is event driven." So, building your investments is only part of your financial path. The plan helps you avoid or mitigate potholes in the road along the way. Because if you have a financial plan and the market's in tumult and turmoil, continue to work your plan. If the news makes you sufficiently nervous, call your financial planner. And if you don't have a financial planner, get one. A financial planner can be the voice of reason, offering perspective you might not think of. I had a phone call with a client who was starting to panic, and I calmed them down, reminding them that the market downdrafts were common, and that after I'd looked at their plan, I explained that based on the information in the plan, that there was a low probability they would run out of money before they ran out of life. So this is what we call the measles chart. It goes back to 1980. All those little red dots are not contagious. They are the lowest point the market hit anytime during the year. So if you notice, 35 out of the 45 years, they were positive. 1987, those who were around back then might remember Black Monday. It's the stock market dropped 20% in one day. But if at the beginning of 1987 you put your money in the S&P 500, that's the stock market, and sat on your hands all year and did nothing, you came out 2% ahead. Keep in mind that when we do a plan, we bake into the plan the average decrease of a little over 14%. There's going to be a dip during the year. That's probably the only thing I can promise you. And if I'm wrong, nobody's going to be upset with me. But that's an average. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. Okay, so sometimes people say, what's the best sector to invest in? I give them the same answer each and every time. It depends. It varies from year to year, and nobody knows in advance which sector will be the best. In the opinion of some, and I'm one of those some, putting together an allocation will be the best path long-term adjusted for each individual's risk tolerance. Most of the time, this strategy will not beat the best sector, nor will it be as bad as the worst sector. Sometimes people say to me, "Hey, I'm just waiting for a market pullback." And there's an old saying that says the best time to invest was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. There's another saying, it is not timing in the market, it is time in the market. So this chart on the left-hand side shows the number of all-time highs since 1950. Since the start of 2025, there were 43 of them, but this chart shows them going all the way back. And number of days the S&P closes at an all-time high, about 6.8%. And the number of times that the all-time highs act as a market floor, meaning when I say act as a market floor, it means they don't go below that much. They just keep growing. So short term, investing at an all-time high is maybe not the best policy, but long term, according to these notes, looks like it could be a good thing. Sometimes people ask me, they say, "Steve, I just invested money with you. What do you expect it to do in the next year?" And sometimes I'll say somewhere between down 37% and up 52%. And they say, "Well, that's a pretty wide range." I said, "Yeah, because I have no idea where the market's going to be a year from now. Nobody does." Okay, that's why we don't put our short-term money in the market. You want something really stable if you're going to need it in the next couple of years. This chart, the olive green ones, are the range since 1950. of the 100% stock portfolio as uh, the S&P 500. The blue bars in the middle are 100% bond portfolio, and the gray bars are a 60-40 portfolio, which means 60% stocks, 40% bonds. As you can see, over any given year, it's all over the place. But here's the thing, I do retirement planning. Now, I expect most people to be in retirement, at least one of the two spouses to be there for at least 20 years. Doesn't always happen that way, but that's what we plan for. So if you go out to 100% stocks, the worst 20-year period, and this is all the way over on the right-hand side of the screen, the worst 20-year period, you averaged 6% a year. Best, you averaged 18% per year. If you put it 100% into bonds, your worst 20-year period was 1% a year. And let me tell you, that's probably not keeping up with inflation. Best is 11%. And a 60-40 portfolio, worst 20-year period, 5% a year. Best 20-year period, 15%, and all points in between. Okay, so why should you bring in a financial advisor? As I've been talking for a while, they bring perspective that may not occur to you. They'll help you stay focused on your goals. They will analyze and recommend adjustments to your plan if warranted. If you don't have a plan, they'll build a plan for your unique situation. If they spot potential potholes in your path, they will suggest ways to mitigate or avoid them. They'll also help you when it comes time to figuring out when to take Social Security and how to take your pension benefits. And in some cases, they'll do tax planning. Note, tax planning and tax preparation are not the same thing. I'm currently unqualified to prepare tax returns. That may be changing in the not too distant future. So once you graduate, be it from a welding school, engineering school, or law school, you're going to need a different plan for each of these stages that's tailored to your individual situation. During your working years, in my opinion, one of the single most important questions is, am I saving enough? And is it in the right place? Glide path to retirement. This is what I've arbitrarily defined as the last 10 years prior to retirement. Will the USS retirement be shipshape on the appointed day? And retirement, how do I avoid running out of money before I run out of life? And legacy, is what I worked hard for, get to where I want it to after I'm done with retirement. I can be reached at herwirefinancial.com. I do in-person Zoom and phone appointments. I am licensed and registered across several states and can easily add states if there's a need. If you'd like to schedule an appointment, you can click on the Schedule an Appointment button in the upper right-hand corner of my website. Want to see more videos like this? Go to my website and click on the YouTube channel button. It's that red button in between the LinkedIn and Facebook buttons. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if your friends want more information, they can follow me in all those places. For those who prefer the good old-fashioned telephone, 518-631-2569. One caution I offer is, do not text me at that number. We'll both be sad because I will not get it. There's a separate texting number. Okay, opinions voiced in this material, they're for general information only, not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. All performance reference is historical. No guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested in directly. All data is believed to be from reliable sources. However, no representation is made as to its completeness or accuracy. None of this is to be construed as tax or legal advice. Consult your advisor prior to taking any action. This information is intended to be educational and is not tailored to the investment needs of any specific investor. All investing involves risk, including loss of principal. There's no strategy that assures success or protects against market loss. There is no guarantee that a diversified portfolio will enhance overall returns or outperform a non-diversified portfolio. Diversification does not protect against market risk.